right, let's get into the paper review now. Very interesting headlines across the papers in Nigeria this morning. We have a public affairs analyst, our usual Ayodele Adio, joining us this morning. Ayo, good morning.
Good morning.
How was your Christmas celebration?
Well, you know how it all...
No, we don't know unless you tell us.
Well, because our experience may not be your experience.
Well, we spent a good part of it queuing up at the filling stations to get fuel because
she got fuel courtesy of the manager of a filling station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Impressive.
What man,
no man.
I told them I'll hold them responsible. You know, it's okay. Well, let's get to the papers this morning. We'll start with the Punch newspaper. Alleged 919 million naira fraud. EFCC, ICPC begin probe of suspended NHIS boss. This has been on for some time. And agencies request documents on foreign trips, others. And then battled Usman Yusuf insults minister correspondent. A lot of people have issues with his approach and disposition to things generally.
Yeah, he's been quite arrogant. In fact, there are rumors that he has the ears of certain cabals in the presidency and has a direct line up there. You know, that makes him a lot brazen. But then he's argued that his the fact that he has problems with the minister is because he refused to release funds for the sending of a particular permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health. Well, I don't know how he should defend himself. The monies that are being asked, he should defend himself at the end of the day. But for me, a larger question needs to be asked about the NHIS, that is a scheme that has been in operation for close to 7, 8, 9, 10 years now. It's just covered less than 5% of the population. That cannot be acceptable. And we need to probe the scheme particularly and not just the minister himself.
Yeah, he said at the time, a report credited to him at the time said that the minister has no right to suspend him. And a lot of Nigerians, what did you say?
It's even more troubling that you're not hearing anything from his employers.
Who are his employers?
Well, government. Because it seems not to be answerable to the Minister of Health, Isaac Adewale.
Well, the point there is NHIS is a scheme under the Ministry of Health.
Yeah, so but he's saying to Adewale, you are not my boss.
You see, that's the problem that I found reoccurring in this present administrations, where people who are supposed to answer directly to their bosses want to jump the ladder because they have a direct line up to the presidency at whatever you have.
Okay.
Well, it's okay. We have pictures of fun seekers here at Legushi Beach. Trust Lagosians, trust Nigerians to have fun when times like this come up. It's really interesting. And then
the Nigerian spirit kicking in.
Yeah, like and then one more we take from me. It's a shame Nigeria still imports petrol. Badokun is saying.
An absolute shame. We must be one of the only countries in the OPEC that still imports, you know, refined petroleum products into our country, and it's absolutely shameful. We can't continue to run a country like that, and something needs to be done. And if anything is to go by, let's believe the prophecy of Kachuku that things will change by the end of 2018. Otherwise, he's going to resign.
2018 is right around the corner, and it's not looking like...
it's just a year from now.
We'll wait. We're patient. Of course, it's been blamed on corruption and, of course, ineffectiveness and ineptitude. That's how some oil and gas experts have described, you know, the root cause of the fuel issue. All right, the nation, caution as fuel queues reduce in Lagos, Ibadan. Of course, they're saying it's not yet Uhuru. Marketers are saying our depots are empty and scarcity persists in Ilorin, Abuja, Aba, and others. Landing cost of PMS in Nigeria is above 145 naira per litre, which means any of our members that import will have to resort to subsidy claims. Okay, so the S word is back again. Subsidy is back. Of course, the VP has said government is not bearing the cost of this differential with about 26 naira.
NNPC
that's purely semantics. I mean, if the NNPC are the ones who is NNPC at the end of the day, you know. So yes, of course, the landing cost of crude has gone up. You know, while we usually rejoice that the prices of petroleum crude products go up in the international market, it has a devastating effect on us because we actually import refined products back into the country.
Either way it goes, whether it goes up or down,
it goes
Nigeria
down.
just does not benefit.
Exactly. And you see, this is why again, people need to be clear when they communicate to the Nigerian people. If you remember when his administration got into office, that petroleum products were about $40 per barrel in the international market, and they claimed that by some magic wand, they had closed up the subsidy regime. The reason why it was easy for them to do that, it was because the landing cost had dropped, basically because the products in the international market had dropped. So there was no need to pay subsidies at that particular point in time.
And now it's 171.
And now, of course, it's 171, and then you
the...
need to pay subsidies.
Yeah, and Patience Jonathan's $15 million, EFCC urges court to ignore firms. Agency declares application abuse of court process. All right, of course, those who were jailed based on their acceptance of guilt, in this case, are saying there's a need to reverse that decision by the court. All right, what else do we have here? Federal government facts about $1 billion security vote distorted. Of course, Lai Mohammed speaking there.
Let's go to the Daily Sun now. We have PDP-APC fight over Buhari. President's inconsistent age claim is a national disgrace. Opposition party, the PDP, saying that you lack morality to demand president's resignation. The party chairman is saying that. Now, a report credited to the president saying that, oh, I thought I was 74. Before, oh, okay, so I'm 75, you know.
I like to think that the president was just being humorous at the time.
Exactly. Someone would say maybe that was just taken out of context.
Oh, yes, I think it was taken out of context. I think he was just trying to pull a joke, at the event, and it shouldn't be taken too seriously. Even, I mean, President Obasanjo had said one time that he wasn't even sure when he was born. He had to ask his mother. They traced it to a market day in particular. So it's no big deal at the end of the day. So we shouldn't play politics with that.
Well, we know the president to be very humorous with some of these things.
Exactly.
And then we have Okorocha under fire for renaming Azomta Avenue after Buhari. Now, this is another issue in in Imo State.
Yeah. I mean, he's really taken the bashing from his people. In fact, he's been called Okorausa on many occasions.
You had to go there.
So he's taking a bit of a bashing. But I mean, people should just soak it up. There's no harm in calling.
Look, the man wants their happiness. They should just be happy.
Well, there's a whole full ministry of happiness, so they should be benefiting from that.
There are a lot of things to be upset about.
But the point is, this is seen as very insensitive because this Azomta Avenue is very strategic.
Yeah.
And it's named after Maria Azomta Cathedral.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that junction.
Yeah.
And everyone knows is a landmark, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the Catholic in the East generally, they know the role the Catholic Church play or Catholic faithful play in swinging election votes and all of that. This seemed to be a little insensitive, maybe.
Yeah, I agree with you that was quite, insensitive. If you remember, it happened in Lagos here when we tried to change Unilag to MQ Abiola, and there was such an uproar at the end of the day because people attach a few sentimental attachments to certain monuments or structures, whatever you. And so I expected that the governor was a little more sensitive, but it shows time and time after time, the more excuses I try to make up for His Excellency, the man run out of excuses. I mean, you should be sensitive to your people. And if you wanted to name the name somewhere, after the president, you could have looked for something, in the States to do that and not touch on the sensibilities of your people.
Or maybe raise a statue. Okay, this day's reporting, FG blasts critics of $1 billion ECA withdrawal, says there are unpatriotic elements. Of course, the debate has been going on about the real motive behind this $1 billion from the excess account.
I mean, they're just having a pill of their own medicine. They did the same things when they were in the opposition. They said that the government wanted to divert the funds for election purposes. And so they're just having a taste of their own medicine. Yeah. But for me, rather than Lai Mohammed complaining that people are grossly misinformed, like he said in one of the papers, it's his job to inform the people what the $1 billion are to be used for and not complaining.
Well, at least the VP has been explaining that. It says it's for security all across the country.
Whether Nigerians buy it or not
is another matter. Okay, MPC, that's the Monetary Policy Committee, may not meet due to lack of quorum. Of course, about 12 members in that committee right now. 8. stepping down, or if they've not
Yeah.
stepped
Their
down
tenures
already.
have expired.
They have
Yeah.
expired. Only 4 on that.
Yeah, and the Senate has not approved, you know, the nominee sent by
By the
Mr.
president.
President. I wonder why that is taking so much time. If you have a bone to pick with the president, and particularly we have a fair idea who the Senate have a problem with, the Magu issue and what have you. If you have a bone to pick with the president, take it up on other issues,
Don't
but not
let
on issues
governance stop.
of monetary policy,
Yeah.
which is quite critical. I mean, the Monetary Policy Committee have done a fantastic job in the last 8-9 months. If you see that they have been able to put a cap on the inflation, and it's been dropping consistently over the past 9-10 months, if you'd like. So we shouldn't play politics with that at the end of the day. Look for another arena to take a battle with the president.
there are
Maybe political
concerns.
issues.
Yeah, look
not
for
economic,
something
not
else.
There are
and not
concerns
core
already
economic
that
issues.
it might even affect the 2018 budget implementation. All right, celebrating 50, Dogara.
Yeah,
turned
exactly.
50 over the weekend, and of course he's been celebrated. 300 million naira was actually raised.
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's for less privilege.
Yeah, of course, yeah, of course.
It should be.
It should be, you know.
Of course, Buhari has been
lot of
praising him as the link between the executive and the legislature. He seems to be some kind a level-headed gentleman.
Oh, yeah, you could say that. A fine gentleman, no doubt. No doubt.
It's okay. Let's get to the Vanguard newspaper, which is the last but not the least here. Fuel crisis, our tanks, depots are empty. Dapma Ipman is saying that certainly this is a full run away from what the NNPC was saying earlier on. No, we have fuel to last us until January, you know, and all of that. Now, let's keep that aside. Fraud charge, EFCC working with our foreign competitors. Innocent is saying that this seems to be... if it is anything to go by, this seems to be bringing another twist to the entire issue of Innocent recently.
Yeah, interestingly, I heard, Innocent put a phone call through to one of your programs yesterday, and made a case for himself that he has tidied up his own end, of the bargain. That the issue is primarily in court, and his accusers have failed to show up some document or what have you. For me, it's clearly a civil issue. The case has gone up to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And so wait for the Supreme Court to make a pronouncement and not, preempt the judgment of the Supreme Court at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And that's on the one hand. On the second hand, there is no need making this thing an ethnic issue. Whether you're Igbo or not.
That's what it's turned out to be now.
It's for me, I mean, let's not vulgarize things in this country. You have an issue with a security operative. You do not need to make it an ethnic issue. It's a simple issue. Go to court. Let the court make a pronouncement. If it's in your favor, fine. If it's not...
But Innocent himself has come out to say, look, this is not an ethnic thing. It has nothing to do with me being Igbo.
Oh, exactly. But why are people whipping up ethnic sentiments?
It's just like saying the fuel scarcity is meant to make things critical for the Igbo.
How low can we get? How low?
Really.
And here's the funny thing. Man is principally driven to pursue his own self-interest. And you know this in our everyday dealings. It doesn't matter the fact that I'm a Yoruba man or that you're Igbo man. If my interests align with yours, I mean, we're going to drink a cup of coffee. And, There are on so many occasions. I've had Igbo friends who walk into the office of another Igbo man and he speaks in Igbo. The man pretends like he's never had Igbo in his life. So I mean, if the moment your interest aligns, there's no problem whether you're Igbo or Hausa. But you see, when you're at divergent points, that's when you begin to whip up funny sentiments. So let's stick to the issue.
According to the VP, corruption is just one tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
One tribe.
And then
they speak the same language.
Liberians elect president
in
runoff. So we're expecting the results to trickle in from Liberia.
Interesting one. It's against a Greenhorn and the incumbent who's been vice president for 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. So hopefully Judge Ware has the masses behind him, the downtrodden. They love the football star. And the vice president has the establishment.
This is not the first time he's contesting.
Say it's a choice between two bad products.
Well, the bad product for Judge Ware being because his vice president is the wife of
Charles Taylor.
Taylor. And ex-wife. And people are a bit skeptical, about that. But wherever you look at it, it will be the first time there's going to be a democratic transition in the country for the past
This does
70 years.
Yeah,
so we hope that it happens. Whoever wins, they take it up from there.
We had ours some time ago, so we hope they will have theirs this time around.
Yes, indeed. Okay, Mr. and Mrs., let's not forget that one. While we were dating, my people said you are a gold digger. That is Mr. telling the Mrs. And then the Mrs. replies him from far away. Maybe they meant to say a gold getter. Okay, so Madam is not a gold digger.
But a gold getter.
She's a gold getter. She's a gold getter.
However you want to interpret that.